I guess it really doesn't matter if I'd speak to them per se because. Oh, there's two people on. Hi. Hello. Who's on? Hi guys. Oh, I can see we've got a bit of. Hey, lovely Joan. My speed is a bit slow. I'm just noticing that. I hope it's not gonna be a problem. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me? Hello. Hi guys, thank you so much for joining us. I say us because Joan is with me here in spirit. Awesome. So I guess you can hear me okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait a few more minutes and let everybody sign on. So I know that there is a lag. So thanks for letting me know that, Joan. So um, hmm, what I'm probably gonna do is less talking and more showing, more show than tell. Hi, Christine. Hi, girls. How are you guys? Thank you so much for joining me today. So I've just been told there is a lag. So I'm going to try to keep the talking to a minimum, but hopefully you can still hear me. What I might do is more speak this way so you can hear me and it's not as disconcerting seeing my lips moving and the words not being in sync. Can you guys hear any music in the background? So we've got 9 people on already. All right, so we're going to start at 2:05 just to give everybody a chance to catch up. I'm sorry about the lag. There isn't anything I can do. It's probably just the speed of the internet, and everybody is on and using it at this time. So, oh, I'm glad you like it. Good. It's not too loud, is it? Can you still hear me? So, Joan, we're signed in at the same time because you're coming back to me as TLC Arts too. It's so weird. Awesome. Thank you. Can you see the canvas? I need to angle this a little bit more. Yeah. I hope everybody had a good week and that you're keeping in good spirits despite everything that's happening because you're focusing on what's important and focusing on what's positive, focusing on the Lord most importantly, and just allowing this time to be a time where you connect more with Him, reading your Bible more, praying more, and just allowing this time to be used by Him to continue refining you spiritually. So I hope that it's been a productive week that way. No, I'm just gonna go with 2:05. I've got Dalton helping me here today, so he's gonna be reading part of our devotional. Pop, pop. So we're just gonna give everybody a little bit of time. So like I said, we're gonna start in about 3 minutes, and then I'll do our formal introduction and get things going. So I hope everybody's excited and ready to tackle their painting today. It's gonna be a very easy one, I promise you. And especially if you've got smaller children who are at home with you right now, and maybe it's the past paintings we've done have been a bit more complex. So this one is really simple, and they can even, you know, um, I would say, draw along with us using crayons or markers or anything like that. So I can't see who's on, but thank you for signing in. Thank you for joining me today. I know it's going to be fun. Hello. I see somebody just signed in there. So I won't be able to monitor my WhatsApp chat. So Joan, I'm going to rely on you to just kind of relay any messages to me right here on this chat. So if there's any questions, you can just let me know, and I'll try to follow along on this chat, because I'm using my own phone for Facebook Live, and we'll go live in just a few minutes. 1 minute actually. I'm going to be using these 3 brushes today. If you don't have a fan brush, it's okay. You can use anything that's a bit on the stiff side. I'm sorry that it's kind of laggy, but I'm just trying to show you that these are a bit stiff. You need a big brush to do your background, and then a small brush for some lettering that we're gonna do at the end, right? Okay, so I think we're good to go. So, hi everybody, welcome back to TLC Arts. I do hope that you've had a good week, and I want to say hi to all my friends and family on Facebook as well. This is TLC Arts, and what we're going to be doing today is an Easter themed painting. And this is part of the Lakeside Church's art, visual, and arts ministry. And what we're going to be doing, as I said, is a painting that is in keeping with the Easter season. And we usually have our art classes on Saturdays, but we are not at a community center for this particular period of time due to what's been happening. We are actually doing everything online and maintaining all of the social distancing practices and safety guidelines as outlined by the province. So today, what we're going to be doing, and I hope all my art students can see this. So we're going to be doing a very easy painting. I know the lettering is backwards. It's a very easy painting, something that you can do with the kids as well. And you don't even need paints for this if you don't have it. You can also, okay, I gotta come this way. So I'm just showing the folks at on Facebook as well. So this is a very easy painting. So this is like magic. So we have stencils that we'll be using today. So everybody, I know Joan, thank you so much for putting all the art packages together and for doing your stencils. My lovely husband did this one for me because I can't draw a straight line to save my life. So this is what we're going to be using today. So as you can see, it is the cross of Christ. Right? And what this painting reflects is the Easter theme. And we do talk about the Passion of the Cross on Good Friday, but the cross is also about glory, the glory of God. And we're looking at the glory of the cross today and what it meant for mankind that Christ came and died and also resurrected. He completed the work for the salvation of mankind. So today we're looking at the cross in its glory and what it means when he said it is finished. So we usually have a devotional first, but because we have some drying time that we're going to need for this one, I'm going to wait until we put in our background and then we will do our devotional. I hope everybody can hear me clearly. And what's written here, I know you probably can't see, but it says, "He is risen. He is risen indeed." Hallelujah. Okay, so you'll notice what we've got going on here is blue and green, but you can use just about any two colors that you like. I recommend not using yellow and white because these are our highlight colors and you don't want them to blend into your background. So you can use any other pastel colors that you like, but for now I'm going to stick with the blue and the green to represent the sky as well as the land. So we'll put this back up here. Hopefully you can still see it. And what you're going to need now is your big brush, your biggest brush, because you're going to be put a painting in your background. Now, this is kind of a two-part exercise because not only are we creating something new, I also happen to be covering over something old. So this is an exercise in letting go as well. So this was something I did a few years back when I had just started, I was just starting. And sometimes we might find it like a little hard to let go of things that we've done in the past because we're proud of it. We think of all the work and the effort. But sometimes, in order to move forward, you have to let go. So I will be covering this over, and it's also an exercise for you as well to realize that sometimes it's okay to let things go, and it's okay if you've got a painting that you're ready to maybe do something, reuse the canvas. It's okay to cover it over. Acrylic is really good for that. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. Yep. So, oh, you just look up my Facebook page. Yep. Okay. So I'm just going to help Dee out here for a bit. In the meantime, what you can do is if anybody's monitoring me on Facebook, if you could let me know that you're seeing the feed. Okay, so we don't seem to be Facebook Live. All right. Okay, so let's see. All right, so I'm not sure what's happening, but if you do see me on Facebook Live and you can let me know if it's actually running, I'd appreciate that. Okay, so guys, we're gonna get started. So as I said, we're gonna start with some blue. So oh yeah, the other thing is that this is my Dollarama set. So you guys have the good stuff from Michael's, but I'm just using Dollarama paints because they're cheaper and easier for me to get at this point in time because, as you know, Michael's has closed most of their stores. It's just curbside service, and I'm not sure if all the stores are offering that service. So I'm going with this one's actually called Blue Neon. So, but what we're going to do is we're going to be painting this mainly in pastel colors. So we are going to be mixing most of these colors with white. You will need a fair amount, so I would say like about a 2E size amount of paint. For all of the mixing. And what you want to do, I'll just try to see if I can get it. So I'm using, I always reuse these styrofoam trays for my palettes because, they're recyclable and it's good for the earth. So I've just got right here in the bottom my blue and white mix. How are we doing on Facebook Live? Hi guys, I hope you can see me. Now you're going to take your biggest brush, as I said, and we're going to paint in our background. Now you're only going to come down to about halfway of your painting. So you're going to actually stop your blue somewhere around here. So here we go. And goodbye. So I'm going to be using a lot because I'm trying to actually cover over this painting. You're just going to let it sort of feather out at the bottom. As I said, you're going to come about halfway down. Are we live on Facebook? Okay. Hey guys. And this is a very simple, easy painting that we're doing today. This is something you can do with the kids. You just need to have your stencil cut out ahead of time. I hope that everybody saw that you'll need some Scotch tape. How are we doing? Is everybody good so far? Mm-hmm. Oh, lovely, thank you. So we're just going to bring it down to about here, about halfway. So one thing I wanted to tell you is when you are blending, you want to be as light as possible with your strokes. You want to, because the harder you go is the more you're going to see the actual brush strokes. And if that's not your intention, then it's a bit annoying. So you just go super, super light, very light with your hand. I hope you're liking my music and it's not too loud. So if everyone's finished with that first step, you're going to rinse out your brush now, and we're going to take green and white and mix that together. And we're going to bring that color up to meet our blue. So what you're aiming for is a light green. And if you're just joining me on Facebook, welcome. This is a TLC art class for the Lakeside Church. So, okay, let's see if I can get this going. Yeah, I'm sorry you can't really see it so well because I've got so many other colors on this palette, but I'm basically aiming, like I said, for a light green. So something that color. And what we're going to do is we're going to come from the bottom and bring that color up into the blue. Just very smooth strokes. And it's okay, you bring it up into the blue. You're not looking for a hard line of demarcation between your blue and your green. You want there to be a sort of a flow into it. How are we doing? Everybody's doing good? I know the kids are going to love this one. So I need some more paint. Let's say hi to Naomi and Daniel. Daniel, you've been doing such amazing work. We're all very impressed and touched by just how consistent you are with your work and just how expressive you are. So please do keep it up. God has given you a talent. It's wonderful to see you using it. So like I said, you just kind of bring it up. And you do this all along. Remember, this is sort of an impression of grass that you're doing. There we go. So you should have blue to the top and green sort of blending upwards into it. And it shouldn't be like almost like you have a horizon line. You shouldn't see any sharp lines. It should just be all very gentle strokes. Or just blending. I hope everybody's on track. Everybody's got that done. So what we're going to have to do now is we're going to have to let this dry for a bit. So I think now's a good time for us to have our devotional. So you're going to need your. Joan, how's everybody doing? Joan may be on break today, but she still has work to do. She's got to keep track of everybody for me. If you have any questions, just let her know. She'll post it and I'll see. All right, so you can rinse out your brush at this point, and we're gonna let this dry for a little bit. So what in your WhatsApp groups, I have posted your devotional. So I want to say first thank you to John Lawler for composing our prayer for today. I'll be reading that. In the meantime, I'm going to ask my husband Dalton to come and to read the first part of our devotional. So, and I do hope that it touches your heart.
Good afternoon, TLC artists. I'm going to read the devotional for you guys today, and it's talking about the resurrection. And here it is. Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. John 11, verse 25. It says, From the Father's heart, my child, you've walked away from the funerals of your loved ones with fresh memories still clinging to you, like grave clothes. Tears have filled your eyes as you've said goodbye to the last dreams of your heart. Remember, for those who love me and are my children, death is but a step into eternity with me. It is never the end, but the start of forever. What you were created for, take heart. I am the resurrection and the life. Where I am, you will be also. Find peace in me. And our grateful response, Lord, death could not hold you. And because of you, the resurrection, we too can live. Thank you that the grave is only a journey into the presence of God. You have removed the sting of death and empowered this thing called life. Now I will live in your presence forever. The simple truth is, on the other side of death is the real side of life. Thank you, guys.
So I'm going to borrow your phone so I can get the liquid as well. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dalton. And I just want to say hi to all my Facebook friends. It's so nice to see everybody. Hi, Diane. And, everybody, Heston and Ernest and everybody. It's so nice to see you guys. I hope everybody's keeping safe and just keeping in prayer. I know you guys are keeping in prayer because one of these days this will be over, and hopefully we will all come out of it stronger in faith and better people. But it's so nice to see you guys. I'm so happy to see you on with me. So I am not an artist. I'm not a professional by any stretch of the means, but I do love art and I can do a few simple things. So that's what I'm doing today, and I'm keeping something. I'm doing something that kids can do as well. So it's something very simple. So I've got a prayer here that I would like to read, and that was written by John. Thank you so much, John. So let's pray together. When I reflect on what the perfect Son of God did for me at Easter time, or any time, I am completely awestruck and overcome with great thankfulness. It's too deep for words, but I'll try. Any person thinking he has thanked the Lord Jesus sufficiently is grossly mistaken. No amount of thanks is sufficient. No amount of thanks is sufficient, and it never will be. I heard a wise man once say, when Jesus Christ gave his life to save us all and buy us back from Satan, it was the greatest overpayment of all time. But at this time and at all times, it is the right time to express your thankfulness and warm affection to Jesus, to our loving God, to the true lover of our souls. Lord, my eyes are wet with gratitude. Lord, you and you alone know the extent of our fragility and sinfulness, and yet you love us anyway, more than anyone else does. We could never thank you enough, but help us to try not just in words, but with our deeds of love to show you how much we love you. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you so much, John. I really appreciate you sharing your heart with us and sharing this prayer with us. And what we're going to do now, as I said, is we're letting this dry a bit. So if anybody has any questions, um, let's just take those questions now. And the next thing we're going to be using actually will be our stencil. So I was just showing everybody. So this is a stencil. I hope you can see that my lovely husband did for me, and Joan did for our artists, our students at home. And this is just simply cardboard. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our stencils next, folks, and we are going to just attach some tape to the back that we can gently rest onto our canvas like this. So if you are really good with straight lines, I am not. If you're really good at drawing straight lines, you can, make your own stencil, or you can actually use a ruler and just plot out your own cross. So that's what we're going to do soon. This is still a bit dry. So guys on Facebook, I'm so sorry. I can't read your comments and do this at the same time, but I did see that you're on there, and I'm just so happy that you're with me, and it's great to touch base. And students, if anybody's got any questions, please feel free to touch base with Joan, and she'll let me know. So just to recap what we've done, we've got our blue skies with our green grass, more indicated, impressionist style. And now we're going to do our crucifix. So I know it is still a bit damp, so I'm just going to tell you to just get some tape. So what I've done is I've just cut some little rolls of tape like this, right? And just attached it to the center bits of the cross. So I've got a piece of tape here, 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 and here. If you find that it's still sort of coming off your canvas a little too much, you can put here, but you don't want to peel your paint off. So that's the issue. So you're just going to very gently rest it sort of in the center of your canvas. Yeah. Just about an inch from the top. So I'm a little nervous to do this because I know mine is still wet. So let's just give it a few more minutes. And blessed Easter to everyone. All right. Okay. We're just going to pretend this is dry. Just very gently tuck your tape in place. So you don't want again to apply too much pressure because you don't want that paint to be ripped off. If when you do it is ripped off, it's not that big a deal. You can always just repaint over those areas once it is fully dry. So there we go. Okay, so the next step I'm going to use, the next brush I'm going to use is my fan brush. I know that not everybody has a fan brush, so you can just use a stiff brush, because what we're going to do is we're going to draw highlights off the cross to make it look as though the cross is emanating light. So we're going to just do it like this from the center of the cross, okay? Now you can use any combination of colors that you like for this. We're going with more pastel colors. So basically, every color that you've got, you just mix it with white to get your pastel. To get violet, you would use a little bit of red and blue to get your purple, and then you add a little touch of white to get the violet color, sort of a softer purple color. Now, I actually happen to have already my purple color already done, Dollarama. So I've already got this going. So maybe what we could start off with is let's start simple. So let's start with pink. So I do happen to have pink. If you do not have pink, and hi Michelle, hey, and everybody, and Josiah, Diana, and then Zeke, yeah, and Quentin. Yeah, I think Quentin's painting with us today. So I'm just gonna quickly recap what we've done so that you guys can catch up. We basically painted blue, a light blue, all the way down to midway our canvas. Then we've done a light green, feathered upwards, more for effect. And now we've got our stencils, got our crosses attached to our canvas very gently. And now we're going to start mixing our colors. Now, you're going to be going around the whole of the cross, so you're going to need a good amount of paint. I would say eh, maybe about a tablespoon and a half. Or if you were, you go by the shape of money and stuff like that, you can probably say it's like a two. It's like $2 for those of you who are outside of Canada. And so we're gonna go with a light pink. Now, if you just have red, of course, you just mix white and red until you get a shade of pink that you like. So all you have to do is you're just gonna hold the center of your cross like this. You're just gonna paint it like this. You can do it sort of more of an angle. And you can bring it out to about an inch or 2 inches away. I have to say that I did get this idea off of Pinterest. I don't remember the name of the user. It wasn't an original, if I remember. I think it was just sort of like general Easter crafts. And this was one of the crafts that they suggested for the Easter time. I hope you're able to see, able to follow. So we're just going off at an angle. It's very easy. Just going off like this. Can extend it a little bit more. And this is the idea that this is the glory reflecting off the cross. Not the cross as a symbol itself, but the glory of the Lord. Okay? And that's where we get started. So when you've done all of that, you can then move on to your next color. So at this point, you might want to go with your purple because you've already got sort of a pink mix there. So you can either add, as I said, purple and white, or you can use red, blue, and then add white to that. So you mix your red and blue first until you get the shade of purple you're looking for, and then you add white. I think I've got some comments on Facebook. If you could just kind of give me a run through as to who's saying what, just read them off for me. I can say hi.
Where?
They would be on my, or if you're watching on yours, it would be underneath. Sigrid and Bertel, I hope you guys are with us today. I also want to say hi to Ama. Ama, I hope I'm not going too quickly for you. I know we've got a bit of a lag, but I hope that it's still you're still able to follow along.
Barone Nicholas, a beautiful painting.
Oh, hi, Baron. Hi, Baron.
Catherine, Helena, Joseph.
Hey, Catherine.
Sandy also.
Sammy. Oh, hi, Sammy.
Diane Robert.
Yeah, I said hi to Diane. Diane's my girl. We go all the way back from Kyrie.
And Naomi. Diane.
Yeah, Naomi from TLC. So what I'm doing now is I'm going back over in some places with my violet color. I'm not completely covering the pink. I'm just covering some areas of it because I want that pink color to still show through. So I think my purple is a little bit too subtle. So I'm going to amp it up a little bit. And again, this is the type of painting that it's really subjective. It's whatever color scheme, what colors you like. Hi, Tanya. I said this is something very simple that you can just do with the kids, and they can use crayons, they can use markers. Paints are a bit easier for in terms of the effect that you're looking for, but they can use any kind of colors with this type of project. Hi, Diana. Hi. Hi, Mom. I do hope everybody's having a good Easter season so far, all things considered. It's never, it's always important to remember the reason for this season, right? I know some people are complaining they can't get their bun and cheese, and it's really hard. You can't meet with family. We do the best we can, and we remember why we celebrate the season, right? So we could go with a light green or a darker green. Whatever shade of green you decide to go with, you want to go with something that is not the same color as the bottom, because then that way it gets just blended in and you can't differentiate between the two shades of green. So you may not want to go very dark green, but you still want to, as I said, because we're kind of doing this more pastel color scheme here, and if you don't want to go too dark, what you could do is just take the same green in its pure form, because what we did is we added white to that last shade to get this sort of pale green color. So I'm just going to go with the shade of green that I used originally with no white next to it. So again, you hold your cross and you're just looking for little pops of color. You're not trying to cover over anything that you've done. Very simple. The reason I like using the fan brush is because it gives you that sort of burst of color there with the brush strokes. Rinse out your brush between paints, between each application, your application. I think the next one I'm going to do is blue. Again, you don't want to get a shade that is too close to what you've got originally. If not, it's going to blend in. So I'm actually going to use a darker shade of blue. Hi, Martel. Hey. And Sigrid and Noreen. I hope everybody's on. Hi, Vanetta. I hope you're doing well, and the kids as well. Well, I know they're not kids; they're grown-ups. But I hope that they're all well. Everybody's safe, and thank you for being on the front lines and what you do. So ideally, what you could do is you could have, sort of given each stage a chance to dry before you added your next layer. We don't have that luxury. This is a very simple, colorful, joyful type of painting that you've got going on here. Sounds like we've got some messages coming in.
Mhm.
What did he say? Hmm. Now, if you would like to do orange, orange would be a mix of red and yellow. If you would like it to be more of a tangerine sort of shade, then you would add a bit of white to that. I actually have orange somewhere, or I thought I did. So I guess I don't. So I'm going to have to make my own orange. So again, red and yellow. And remember what I said, you want a good amount of paint, um, enough to go around your cross. If not, you're going to have to keep remixing the shade. I hope everybody's finding this super, super easy. It's meant to be. And Michelle, let me know how the kids like this one. So who's cooking up something good for Easter? And send me some. All right, so I'm going again with this time I've got orange. Sorry, I haven't been showing you my colors. If there's anything that you don't like, you can always wait till it's dried and you can cover it over. So I'm actually just using a little bit of water here to ease up some of where I think I've got it a little too heavily applied.
Or a burden.
Mhm. Hi, Aura. Okay, so we've got quite a few colors going on here, but we still have two more to do at least. I've got everything. Yep. So the last two shades we're going to add are yellow and white. Now we're going to do those a little bit differently. We're actually going to try to get some straight lines on those. Actually, only on the white. So the next step we're going to do, the next color we're going to do is the yellow. Wouldn't believe we're almost done. As I promise, this is super, super easy. If we had time to dry in between, this would probably take like maybe an hour at the most. So, if you've got kids, I think this is interesting enough to keep their attention, hopefully for that long. So we're gonna come back in with our yellow. So if you feel like, I feel like right now I've got a lot of heavy lines going on, so I'm gonna use just the side of the edge of my brush to do some strokes that way. And as you're doing it, think of it as sort of like bursts of glory, emanating from the cross. How are we doing there, Joe? So you should have a glorious explosion of color happening by now. So as I said, for the final color that we're going to put on today, it's actually going to be white. And what I'd like you to do is to take one of your brushes. I'm not going to use this one because we're going to need that one later. You can use one of your brushes sort of as a ruler, or if you have a ruler, use a ruler. We're going to start from the center of our cross, and we're going to hit all of the angles like this from the center of our cross. And we're going to do this in our white color. So it's almost as though this is like the heart of the cross, and we're going to get all of these angles, but in white. So try to find a clean spot on your palette where you're not mixing your colors. I hope that you're finding this very relaxing. So you can use, as I said, you can use a ruler or you can use a paintbrush as your guide, like that. Lost my palette there for a moment. And you might want to extend these lines a little bit longer than the rest of what you've done so far. It is messy. Kids are gonna love that. You're gonna come down here to the bottom edges of your cross, and you're gonna do the same thing. I think we've hit, so we just got these and these edges. Okay. I said, think of these as the rays of glory from the sun of the Most High. So we're almost done, if you can believe that. Yeah. I didn't want to keep you too long today. I'm sure everybody's got things that they have to do with their family, to prepare for Easter, prepare our hearts and our minds. Okay. So now comes the big reveal. Make sure you wash out your brush first. I hope everybody's been able to keep up and that we're all at this crucial moment. I hear that we've got pictures already. That's wonderful. So, what you want to do now, very gently, because you do not want your tape to rip off the paint you've already got going on there. Sorry for a little too hard on mine. There we go. Beautiful. And you see what you've got going on is this lovely two-tone area right in here. So, as our final step, and I know this is probably the most tricky part, is where we are actually going to do some lettering. You want your finest brush, finest tipped brush for that. And we're just going to write, He is risen indeed, in your most fancy script if you can, or if not, and especially if it's the kids, you can just have them just go carefully and fill that in as they're able to. So I forgot my black, but I would suggest black. Because I forgot my black and I'm not going to get up again, I'm actually just going to mix, it's okay. I'm going to mix purple and blue and see what I end up with. I certainly hope that you guys have enjoyed our little exercise today. I wanted to do something very easy and fun. So I really hope that everybody had some fun doing this one. It's a very colorful painting. And as I said, it's something that the kids should really enjoy. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone's paintings. Okay, so I think I've got a dark enough color. So You want to try and get a fine point as far as fine as you can. Take a deep breath. If you don't like how it came out, you don't like your lettering, you can always let it dry, use your green, your light green, paint it over, and you can try it again. And don't forget to sign your initials at the bottom. And you're done. Yeah. So I hope everybody enjoyed that and that you found it a very easy exercise to do. It's one that's great for the whole family to do with the kids. If you've got any questions in class, just feel free to ask me in our WhatsApp group. And everybody on Facebook, thank you for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed that. And happy and blessed Easter to all of you. I love you. Thank you, students.